First thing before we get into the whole Jason Tatum conversation is I did a quick hits on this the other day. I don't even think it was a quick hits. It was an entire segment to it. I did an entire segment on this the other day, and it was of a former Indianapolis Colts player whose son was being reported as under duress because the grandmother basically was saying, hey, man, I don't think that he's safe. And he was showing up with black eyes and stuff. So I wanted to come back to y'all once I got an update on it, because some stuff I like to stay in tune with in order to make sure that we having the right kind of conversations. I wanted to give you guys an update of what's happening with this young boy. Check it out. They found him safe, like I said that they would. And I believed that they were hiding the boy because they wanted his wounds to heal, and it started becoming a national story about the boy itself. But they was basically hiding the boy, and it was a silver alert out for the kid because they wanted to make sure that nothing had happened to the kid. And they wasn't cooperating with the police. If the child was missing, then actually every parent will be cooperating with the police. But as a result, I knew that the reason that they wasn't cooperating with the police is because either nothing had happened to the boy, or they didn't want to put themselves in a situation where they was going to get arrested. Well, they was arrested anyway. Check it out.
Good afternoon, everyone. We begin 13 News at noon with breaking news. A missing 14-year-old boy and the son of former Colts player Daniel Muir has been found safe this morning by Indiana State Police in Logansport. Bryson's parents, Kristen and Daniel Muir, now both arrested. Kristen faces a preliminary charge of obstruction of justice. Daniel faces preliminary charges of obstruction of justice and domestic battery. Right now, our Rich Nye is in Logansport.
What is obstruction of justice? I'm one of those people that I'm not just going to assume. I'm trying to understand exactly what obstruction of justice is. Obstruction of justice. Okay, I see it. Shout out to my renter, just paid me on Venmo. Yeah, shout out to one of my renters. I love getting paid on the 4th. Ain't that beautiful? Ain't that beautiful when you get paid on the 4th? I love getting paid on the 4th. Ain't it beautiful? See, this is what the bag is about. See that? I don't know. See that? See that? Getting paid on the 4th. Shout out to all of the renters that's paying their rent, making sure that they paying their rent before they go and celebrate on the holidays. Let me give them a round of applause. That's the true definition of passive income, ladies and gentlemen. Passive income is people paying their rent on time, before the 10 days. I love it. That's the true definition of passive income. That's why I show you all the receipts. I hear that ching. I said, whoo, my heart started fluttering. Anyways, obstruction of justice. Sorry, y'all, I'll be getting distracted. I get distracted sometimes, so you got to give me a little bit of grace. Obstruction of justice. All right, we're going to break this down, because I need to know what they charging them with. Obstruction of justice is, oh, that's in Michigan. Well, I guess it's the same no matter what. According to the Michigan Penal Code, obstructing, assaulting, wounding, or endangering a police officer, judge, parole officer, prosecutor, court employee, medical examiner, or another person involved in a criminal justice process is a serious felony offense. I don't understand that. So if it's only in relation to people that are basically public servants or parole officers or certain employees that participate in the Justice Department, how are they being charged with obstruction of justice? I don't understand that. Examples of obstruction of justice: giving false identification to a law enforcement officer, impersonating a law enforcement officer, refusing aid to a law enforcement officer when requested, giving false evidence, hiding or concealing oneself, and refusing to give evidence, tampering with. Okay, so this is broad. This is very, very broad. You can basically apply this to anything. So anything that you don't comply with when it comes to a government employee or a police officer or something like that, then they basically saying that that's obstruction of justice. So if they say, hey, we need evidence in order to substantiate whether or not your kid is in good health or not, and you say no, that could possibly be an example of obstruction. So you're preventing justice from being served, or you're hampering or tampering with or preventing somebody from being able to do their job with regard to law enforcement. Okay. All right. It's very, very broad. Very, very broad. It's a broad definition. I'm not sure I really agree with this because you can basically apply this to anything, but let me continue with the show.
Report outside of Cass County Jail following the latest developments. And Rich, what have you learned so far?
Karen, Daniel and Kristen Murr are currently in the Cass County Jail awaiting a hearing. That happens at 1 o'clock here in the Cass County Government Building behind me. And at that hearing, they'll find out if perhaps they will get a bond so that they could post bond and be released today before the July 4th holiday. Now, early this morning, the Indiana State Police SWAT team, they executed a search warrant on this property about 6 a.m. This is in Logansport. This is where the Muir family lives. The property is owned by Servant Leaders Foundation. The religious group that lives and meets here is called Straightway Indiana Goshen. Daniel Muir is the pastor and the leader of that group. Bryson's grandmother reported alleged abuse of the 14-year-old boy back on June 16th while he was visiting her home in the
Look, that looked like what Umar Johnson want to make, ain't it? They got a community garden over there. They got the church. They got a school over there. I don't know who owned this property, but they got the little tents, the gates over there, the shed so you can cut the grass. This is what Umar Johnson trying to get y'all to build, ain't it? You see the community garden over there? Oh, man.
Cleveland, Ohio area. She provided a photo to police of Bryson with a black eye and a swollen face. And she said Bryson told her that his dad caused the injuries as a punishment he deserved. She believed the abuse happened on the Logansport property, and police have been trying to locate the boy for 18 days. It appears Bryson was likely here on this property the whole time, but the parents were not cooperating with the investigation and allegedly backed out of a meeting with the state police last Friday to bring Bryson to investigators to talk about the investigation. That led police to getting that search warrant this morning and going onto the property. And again, Bryson was found. He is safe and well, and police say that the parents were taken into custody without incident.
Just nothing but positive vibes. Here we are, you know, trying.
Not the police officer talking about positive vibes. What? Tighten up, officer. Don't you start leading with positive vibes. Tighten up, big dog.
To find this child, make sure that he's alive and well, and ultimately, after 3 weeks of, you know, reaching out, yeah, he was found, located. So definitely win in our books.
Daniel Muir was arrested for domestic battery and obstruction of justice. His wife, Kristen, was arrested for obstruction of justice. Daniel played for the Indianapolis Colts for 4 seasons, ending in 2011. And again, Daniel and Kristen Muir have a bond hearing. That's today at 1 o'clock here at the Cass County Government Building. I'll be at that hearing and have the very latest for you on WTHR tonight. And Bryson Muir is currently in the custody of the Indiana Department of Child Services here in Cass County, Karen.
Let me say this. Let me look at these people again real quick. Let me say this. I don't agree with, and I'm going to read y'all Super Chats and Cash App shortly. I don't agree with the boy showing up with black eyes. That can't be happening. We got to be protecting the kids and the children. The other side of this is, and I hate to do it, I know I'm not being politically correct, but I gotta have a conversation. Some of the stuff, and this is completely unrelated to this boy in particular, some of the stuff that kids were disciplined with or like back in the day was way worse than whatever it is that the grandma identified with the kid. I'm just telling you. If you ain't never got a whooping, Because, see, y'all call it gentle parenting. Y'all be asking y'all kids for permission now. It was way different when we was growing up. You get that extension cord snatched up off of that iron and get your back blew out. That's what's going to happen. Listen, I feared when I was younger in elementary school, before I started acting out and stuff, I feared my teacher telling my parents that I was acting out, because I was like, God, I can't be going home. It's going to be a belt waiting on me. Ain't going to be no gentle parenting. It ain't going to be no gentle parenting. I guess all of our parents would have just been arrested. All the people that got some good sense, who didn't end up in jail, who didn't end up dead, all of our parents would have just been, they would have been on obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice. Man, I got a whooping so bad one time. I was glad it was the summertime, because that means that I had 2 to 3 months to heal before school started back. It's a fact, bro. I'm just telling you. It was some days, boy. You see, that's when the teachers was able to teach back then, because they was like, let me call. Oh, no. Don't you do it. No. Miss Brunner. That's what my second grade teacher named. Miss Brunner, I sorry. I sorry. I lost my minds for 1 second. But I's better now. I's better now. I don't need a pink slip. Hampton Elementary School. I don't need a pink slip. I sorry, Miss Brunner. It was a simple. You call a teacher by their first name by mistake. I sorry. Woo! Ain't nobody trying to go home after you tell disrespectful teacher by calling her by her first name. Now the kids don't care. I get my mom on you. It wasn't like that back in the day. The teacher was an extension of the parents, and if the teacher had to go and contact the parents, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Act out if you want to. I'm sorry. It was different back then, but I don't know. I guess the children they got a whole other thing that they got going on. Legacy.